What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, coming at you with my third video of the day, my video. And I was talking to you guys earlier about what's going on in China. You know, all the rioting and the tussling back and forth. You know, back in the day when I was growing up, you'd be downtown, maybe at a festival or something, and the brothers always would mess stuff up. It turned into a fight. We'd be like, they fighting, they fighting. I watch fights almost would get into a fight trying to watch a fight. Like, man, get out of my way, I'm trying to see. People want to see that stuff. And I was watching this today, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a great example of why we need the Second Amendment. Because what happens when the Chinese government just get fed up with it, feel like they've been embarrassed, and they just decide to go to live rounds? The people don't have anything to defend themselves with but a hand with some skin on it. That's it. Yep, couple bottles maybe. Harsh language, stuff like that. So when people here in America start hearing about gun control and gun restrictions and new gun laws, their spidey senses start to tingle. And I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, with this whole red flag situation, they would have to work that out in such detail that it leaves no room for error. Meaning, Yeoman Johnson down the street doesn't like me, see me riding around on my motorcycle, and he's like, that guy thinks he's better than me. Yeah, I watch his videos, I hate him. Matter of fact, I'm calling the feds. And there's this guy, I've seen his videos, he talks about guns a lot, and I'm fearful for my life. Then all of a sudden, I'm under investigation. So there has to be some very, very clear restrictions when it comes to that, and consequences for those that might try to set somebody up. This dude ain't paying his child support. You know what, girl, I got something I'm gonna do. He crazy, he be coming over here with his gun, and now you under investigation. Or girlfriend break up with you. Yeah, she broke up with me, and then reverse it. I broke up with her really, and she was mad. She's talking about coming up to my job and doing something. Now all of a sudden, she's under investigation. So these are all the things that could go wrong, and you best believe people will exploit things if they could, and they would. So that's a concern. But the other part of this is anytime the Democrats start talking gun control, I get concerned. And I'm gonna tell you why people that support the Second Amendment get concerned. Because the Democrats are masters of deception. That's right. They're a whole bunch of Houdinis. They're a whole bunch of David Copperfields. They act as if they don't want the end game to be complete gun confiscation. They always say things, they switch terms. So they make you think that I'm not going after the extreme thing that you really fear. So I'm gonna use an alternative term, kind of like lawyers do, but hide it in the fine print or switching up the terminology so maybe you don't catch it. Perfect example. We're not about open borders. This is ridiculous. When the Republican talking points, they're always saying that we're about open borders. I'm not about open borders. We do need some type of border control, but I don't feel that we should criminalize people who come across the border. I want to decriminalize coming across the border illegally. They shouldn't be looked at as criminals. Now, what they just did is said, I want open borders. Because if there's no consequence for coming across the border, and if it's not illegal, then you got open borders. So they are masters in play on words. So let's just say we voted them in, and then they implemented decriminalizing people coming across the border, and then we get flooded by 3-4 million people a week. And we're all saying, what the heck? You said you didn't want open borders. Well, I didn't. I just simply decriminalized coming across the border illegally, and this is the result of it. So now you end up getting the results you really wanted because you deceived the people with a different statement, term, or approach. Same thing with gun restrictions. So in everybody's mind, when you think of an assault weapon, they wait until the act take place. They look at the gun that's being used, say it's the AR-15. The first thing they do is call it an assault weapon, an assault rifle, or assault weapon. They keep throwing that term out all the time to where people listening start to identify and make the connection between the AR-15 as being an assault weapon. Whereas they might forget that any gun under that is an assault weapon. So once your mind gets tricked into thinking assault weapon, AR-15, and then they come out with legislation. I think there should be a ban on assault weapons. Now, you're thinking, okay, why not? The AR-15, maybe it's unnecessary, it kills a lot of people, blah, blah, blah. You buy into that rhetoric, which still, that's garbage too. But nonetheless, you get sucked into that, you vote for that, or you put people in power who feels they want to implement this, and they say, okay, now there's a ban on assault weapons, and you like, good, get the AR-15 off the market. Next thing you know, they're like, so we now are going to give you guys an option to buy back. We're going to give you guys an option to sell us all of your guns back, or we're coming into your houses and we're going to get them. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Y'all didn't say nothing about pistols and shotguns and all that stuff. Y'all was just going after the AR-15. Well, who told you that? Well, you said a ban on assault weapons. That's the AR-15. No. See, if you look in the guidelines, an assault weapon is any gun, okay? Any semi-automatic or any gun, that's an assault weapon. And you're thinking, well, you tricked me. No, we didn't. No, you voted me in, okay? That's what you did. You voted me in, and you didn't read the fine print, and I just simply preyed upon your ignorance. And now, let's just go ahead and solve this by you giving up the gun. And now people will be upset. This is why people don't trust when they start talking about new gun control and restrictions and new gun laws, because they're gunning after our guns. They're always trying to deceive us somehow, because they just assume the majority of the population is too ignorant and dumb to catch what they're trying to do. Just switch up a couple terms, things like that, and then all of a sudden they get their goal and objective accomplished right up under the nose of the people who voted them in and was, yeah, that's right, we need this, okay? Oh, whoa, now it's coming down my lane. Same thing with language. They're always talking about we need to have some type of censorship and we can't tolerate hate speech. Now, that's all good for the people who feel like it's only applying towards Donald Trump and the rest of all of the white nationalists and Nazis. Then when they implement a law about hate speech, the same people who were thinking that's only for them, they get out there and they say something reckless, and then the government's like, listen, we need to have a talk with you. What you just said, we don't agree with. That's hate speech. Well, wait a minute. When did we? Well, we did this when you voted us in and agreed to it, thinking it was only for Donald Trump and his people. Didn't read between the lines, no fine print. So that's how they get you. So I'm not in agreement to these teetering around with the gun law things. They need to be very, very careful. And I see what they're trying to do. Republicans are trying to say, okay, how can we come up with something that's won't have an impact on the average person that supports the Second Amendment, but will also wet the palate of some of the people who saying, all right, enough is enough. There's a lot of people being killed. I see what they're trying to do, but they better be careful. That's all I'm saying. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30 live on YouTube and on my radio blog talk show. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. And check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. If you like something, put my name in the promo code. You get a 20% discount. And finally, what else? If you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom to do that as well, considering I've been demonetized. Anyway. And then find me on Facebook and Twitter. God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.